What am I doing? Well, you see, I don't want to go higher than 48 volts, and I like high amperage. So what I'm doing is I'm wiring 3 48 volt Greenway packs in parallel, and then I'm going to go ahead and run these charger cables that I made onto this far driver. In order to make sure I did this correctly, the first thing I did was test fit all the parts together with some little nylon strap ties. And if you ever watch my videos, you'll see little bits of those running around all over the place. That's because they're disposable. Once you decide what your heights and your distances need to be, you can just rip them off and then use something better. Most of the times I fabricate everything out of steel, but this being pretty simple and removable, I'm using stainless steel strap ties. In order to make my charger cables, I went ahead and got some DC outs. These are considered males. I know, it's an any, right? But these are males, and you run these, or I run these, directly to my 48 volt chargers over there. So you can purchase 48 volt chargers pretty much any terminal in that you want. But I like to use the DC ports. That way it's real easy to disguise it. I don't have to do anything crazy as far as the plugs, and I don't have to have all that separation because it's not super high voltage. I've got my two XT60s hooked up to an XT90 and then a third one which will tie in separately on its own. This is my extender battery. See, this far driver is only good 80 amps. Because this is only an 80 amp controller and these little QS90s max out at 100 amps, we're going to leave it at 80 amps. Each one of these Greenways can put out 40. So running 2 of them would be a perfect formula. However, I would like to ride further than, say, whatever this is going to get me, which is about, what is this, 38 amp hours with 2 of them. 48 volt, 38 amp hours. That's not bad. But let's go ahead and add another 19 to it. And then I can get around town for sure. I definitely do get around town. But I used to have it hanging off of the bottom here. And I had another battery in here for the headlights. So I had almost 65, 70 amp hours worth of 48 volts. But it was just too much. So I pulled it out. And we're just going to go ahead and run a little 48 volt to 12 volt DC transformers to run the backlights, the headlights, and the taillights. That ought to make things real easy. These are 10 amps, and that's all I really need. And then just run a switch to it. I've got the connector hooked up for the halo. I've run my micro D. I made my little splitter. Now we're going to this guy that I'm going to make as my switch. Ooh, I like sparkly sounds. There we go. It works. So I'll just go ahead and wire it up so that that's my switch, and I'll just unplug it when I don't use it. I guess you could say I got into it. What I did was ran 12 volt from 48 coming straight off the far driver into this switch. This is 48 volts going into the step down. Step down is going to be yellow and blue. So I've run a little one of these guys. We're going to go ahead and run a 10 amp fuse because that's what it can push. And then out of that is going to be all the accessories, the light, brake light, all that stuff. All right, it's about 6 o'clock. I've got it wired up. I've already tested the outlet quite a few times. Now I've got this hooked up for the headlight. So there she is, and all right, we have light. I'm happy about that. I'm happy about it. Okay, I just got to do a tail light next, and then I can get in it and go for a ride at this point. Okay, my wheel always had a little bit of wobble to it, so we're taking it off. I found out my spacer was too short, so I got a much longer one here. We're going to go ahead and trim it to length, but first I need to make dinner for my bestie. Break time. Alright, now I'm sure you probably don't really understand, but I just had this bike completely apart this morning. There was nothing together. I completely redid it all. New wiring, new switches. Went ahead and placed the battery in the right place, suspension, did the rear axle correctly, and now, look at that, I got a voltmeter, I got my parking lights, which turns on my backs. Yay, there's not much left. It's 12:15. Store's closed for beer in about 45 minutes. I think I'm gonna go get a beer. That's done. I'm happy. Ta-da! Voltmeter, everything works. Da-da-da-da-da. I'm taking for the ride. Hopefully I don't get another ticket, right? Alright, here she is. Brakes. And a tail light. We need a tiny little headlight switch. Done. I'm gonna drink that beer now.
Daddy's got a new 45. Well, I won't think twice to stick it straight down. I've got something for I really want to know.
A freewheel sprocket on here.
Yeah.
I don't have to pedal.
In a little bit. Whenever you're ready to leave, Bubba, I'll bail. But we got these sick ass rides, you know, and they're a little bit of fun. Dude, I'll get you one you can ride. I'll make a friend bike.